covered today. By the time they get there, 193.3 kilometres on this stage 19 of the Tour of Spain. Top left-hand corner of your screen, Jimenez and Pascal Richard. They went over the top of the climb with just a handful of seconds between themselves and the chasing group, which is splintering on the way down. And I said to you earlier on, I thought that Richard was the one to lead on this descent. He's a very chunky, but very solid sort of rider. Very strong indeed, riding powerfully at speed. So he and Jimenez, by relaying each other, when they can actually pedal, because the speed at which they're going is making them wish they got even bigger, I suppose, could well distance themselves a bit from this group, as there goes Escartin, there's Zülle, and Dufo, Jalabert and Zaina, all at the top brass are more or less together at the moment. Jerez is also in there for the Calme team, and Serrano, Clavero as Topona, he's just a bit further back. So the one man who looks like he's suffering a bit today is Gianni Farazin, who was lying 9th this morning. We've seen him briefly as now through goes Jalabert. Now it's rocketing off the front. Superb turn of speed. Took him straight past his team captain and overall race leader. And he's going to go again. Yes, he is. Wow, that's tremendous stuff. Certainly by going off like that, one might say, why isn't he back with Zülle looking after his interest? But there are a lot of on-say riders coming up in the little string behind. So I suppose there's no reason that he shouldn't try and stretch the legs of the riders round about him just a bit and pull back these two riders here, because it could be that Jalabert wants some points, vital points in the competition. He's got that red jersey around his shoulders, distancing himself from Serrada, but also I think he would like to get himself a few more points in the Kingdom Man's competition as well. So he's been quite hungry today, is Laurent Jalabert. There's no more points to go in the Kingdom Man's competition as such, except for this short little third category climb ahead of them, which is an next to nothing climb anyway. And there's only what prizes down to 4th spot, so they'll romp over that one. But he looks very hungry, Jalabert does. Well, talking hungry, by the way, nice part of the world. Some of their favourite food around here is the suckling pig and lamb as well. They're sort of staple diets around here, but it's well worth sampling if you're around this part of the world and washing it down with a nice drop of wine, maybe from the Ribera del Duero, where we went through in Old Castile the other day. That's some chase, isn't it? These are two good lads at this. They're both on well matched. Look at the size of them. Both of them well determined to stay away. And that little third category blip to take some of the sting out of the leg of the chasers. That was Jose Manuel Herrera of the Estepona team. I thought that we'd got Clavero with us, but we had to wait to see if he comes up from behind. Thibaut just there in the red and the white, zooming through. Zaina's starting to go some now. Everybody's having a go. And Escartin going with him too. And Dufo then hounding down. We've got the Refin rider, and I don't think he's too far involved in general classification, just looking for a position over old Pierpoli. Looking probably to try and go for a stage, because it actually goes up a little bit towards the end, so it might suit somebody who can go up a little bit of a short, sharp climb to get the victory. Now we've got to be 10 kilometres to go. Doesn't time fly? So we've got 6 kilometres to the top of the next little climb, which is little anyway, so it's pretty fast all the way through. They just don't seem to be able to get their legs going around that bit faster, can they? "22 seconds." It's been more or less like that for some time now. Well, these are our two leaders, and the gap then around about 22-23 seconds. They're inside the final 10 kilometres. There's going to be some chase for the finish, and they might get caught yet. Pascal Richard, who just eased back to allow Jimenez to take the maximum points to Kingdom Man's competition on that climb. It's only a third cat climb, so the value is not that much for him to bother about. On the third category climb, 6 points went to Jimenez, 4 to Pascal Richard, and at stake now there's 2 more points and then 1 point just for the next 2 blokes over the line. So in reality, Jimenez helping himself again to reinforce that white jersey. A little attack coming on the left-hand side. Looks to me now as if Taïsia of France has gone thundering off there. Just held himself now. It's 3.8 kilometres to go to the finish. A fairly swift descent. They were actually 3 kilometre mark. Now this is where it gets tricky, by the way, as you run in. You've got quite a descent, and then, oh, keep your fingers crossed. So we're in this finishing 3 kilometres now around this big club estate. Got lots of sort of hotel buildings inside here, restaurants and what have you, and really these 2 riders have done just the right thing. It does twist and turn quite a bit and curls back in for the finish. Inside that final 3 kilometres, soon to see the 2K sign. This is an absolute perfect move by the 2 riders up in front, Jimenez and Pascal Richard. Both of them now got the capability to ride hard, and there's a bit of a climb at the end of it all, so it could in fact suit Jimenez, I thought, and looks to me now as if Claudio Chiappucci's roaring away at the front of this one. He's a very good rider when it comes to tricky twists and turns. There they are, just 2Ks to go. Hold your breath as they go around these sharp twists and turns. The bunch now being led by Claudio Chiappucci, determined to cut that group back. On this very special estate you see here, some lovely property. I just wonder how much water they put on these. Can you see a difference in the lawns, by the way? Some nice and green ones, and some a bit grotty. I don't think they ever have a hosepipe ban. Now, well, there's another good bloke when it comes to this sort of tricky finish, with Laurent Jalabert. I think that's Taïsia who rocketed off and tried to get away off the front of it. A lot more land for redevelopment, by the way, if you want to get yourself some property around here. Well, I suppose most of the Brits go down to spend their time by the seaside. Well, this is our group that we've got with Clavero. They're the next behind Jimenez and... oh, they caught them. They caught them. That was very quick move indeed. I didn't expect that at all, but they have now caught them, because the way in which the other 2 were going, this is a real turn-up for the books, that they've now been caught, and with Jerez, Roberto Jerez, a good little climber, very exuberant little rider too as well, and there, Clavero in the white and the blue for the Estepona team. 1 kilometre to go. I told you about the little uphill flick at the end of it. Look at it there. This should suit Jimenez. I thought they'd stay away, but Jerez is also a good little climber too, so they've got a fairly interesting finishing lying ahead of these riders now. They'll be turning and twisting and coming round. They've got to do a bit of a left-hander up here, and they go up the Avenue de Los Angeles in towards the finish. They came very close to it as we came in towards the estate here as such, so the crowd will have seen them flick by just over the top of the shoulders, and now 1 kilometre to go, just down the road, then this little left turn, and then up she goes to the top. Quite a nice little finish, this one. Could suit Jerez, could suit Jimenez, could, I suppose, even suit Clavero at the back, because both those 2 respected when it comes to climb, but I think somehow that Jimenez ought to have the power in his legs to go away for this one, but you make your own choice. Clavero looks like he's stalling a bit now. They can't afford to wait too long, because the group's coming up fast behind them, and someone like Claudio Chiappucci can rocket across and join up with a group like this if he really puts his mind to it, as could Jalabert, but I think it may be a bit too late now for that. And this group, this is an awful hard climb up to the finish. Clavero for Estepona goes on the right-hand side. Jerez goes across to join him. And the other 2 have stopped, and that's it. Jerez here has already got a stage victory. Clavero trying to drop him off the back, and those 2 I thought would get it to the finish are now going to have to fight out for third one. Jimenez suddenly accelerates. Has he been playing hooky there? Does he want to say, look, I will not come out to play until I feel like it? He's launched himself now, but has he left it too late? Jimenez is going very hard indeed to try and catch these 2, as Jerez looks back now, and suddenly Jimenez comes up to him so quickly. That was a beautiful move by him. He rockets straight by them. He says, come on, boys, I'll show you how to do it for a go bike racing. And there he goes now, the Benesto rider has really caught them napping, but has he gone too soon? Can they come back at him? Well, Jose Maria Jimenez, 8th in the Tour de France this year. We thought that he would go better this tour, but he faded on 2 of the mountain stages. Now coming back at it again, but he's got the victory he was looking for. Benesto scoring yet again, and Jimenez keeping that King of the Mountains jersey, and also showing that he just calculated that finish absolutely to perfection. And look at the average speed, 42.63 kilometers per hour, with 2 first category climbs, 1 third category climb that they've covered today. Absolutely tremendous, the speed of the race this year. And as Jalabert brings in the group behind him, looks as if Hamburg has made his way up to him in that group. Was it Ivanov? I think it's more like Ivanov just coming in there for TVM. Then Bordenave in there, Fallas in, Brochard, Zaina just coming over the line. And you can see the way they're gasping for air, these riders, sucking in oxygen as hard as they can do, because that has been a real tough run into field. There's Claudio Chiappucci, a bit further back than I thought, actually, when we picked him up on our cameras when he's going away, but couldn't make it. And so for the rider from the Benesto team, that success again they were looking for, but you see how much is taken out of him. You have to do this. He can hardly breathe, and they're shoving microphones up his nose, and the poor chap is desperate to get some oxygen down his lungs, desperate to have a drink. And let's go back then and leave him for his moments of recovery while we watch that finish, which took him in to a stage victory on this run into Los Angeles de San Rafael. Timed it perfection. Look at those 2 behind him. They thought they'd got it. He just faked that he was suffering. It's an old trick, by the way, among cyclists, that you just ease back and look as if you haven't got anything left in your legs, and off he goes like that. Well, he's won what in the past stages in the Tour of Rioja, and second spot in the one of the stages in the Tour of Spain as well, and now he's coming to take that victory in convincing style. The man who tried to get the victory the other day. You may remember that he went out on a bit of a ride the other day and got himself hauled back in. He really was looking all the time, I think, just for King of the Mountains points. This time he's looking for the victory, which he's so rightly deserved. He's come good again, and those riders, as Neil Stevens saying to me, this is the race for hard men, and he's ridden himself through a very bad patch too, because at one time we thought he might not even make it to finish. He was sick, he was really struggling, Jimenez, in those 2 stages in the mountains when we had up to Granada and into Sierra Nevada. He really dropped a lot of time, but there we are. I'm looking back down the average speeds, by the way. Last year the average speed was 40.470 for the Tour of Spain. That's the first time they cracked the 40 kilometers per hour, and they've just done 42.63 kilometers per hour for this hilly stage today. Amazing stuff, especially by this man Jimenez taking the stage victory. Toward the 3 kilometer goal point. He's had over 60 victories in his career as Pascal Richard, and here he is now riding in with Jimenez, the man who got yesterday's stage in the Tour of Spain. Live on Eurosport, the action under a damp and miserable day that so far has not been according to plan, with the sun we've had so far on this, the 20th stage of the race. 199 kilometers to go, 2 more days left, 1 the time trial tomorrow, then the run into Madrid, and really Casino with Richard must be hoping their man can stay away. The clock is counting down, and now it's only 24 seconds, 23. The clock is going backwards. 22 seconds. I've never seen a clock go backwards before, but it's only 22 seconds according to the backwards running clock between that group. And there we are, you see the walls of this great city there alongside. They now start to go up the cobbled run just in front of you. 88 of those cylindrical towers there, 9 big gates, and this wonderful old city is now going to see a tremendous finish. Used to be known to the Romans as Ávila, now known as Ávila, with something like about 50,000 people living here. And who is going to get the stage victory? You can imagine the old days, how these embattlements were being attacked by the Moors, fighting their way and trying to throw out the Spanish. And now, who's going to try and throw out the victory here for these two chaps who must deserve it? Richard and Jimenez. They were away yesterday. They got caught within the last kilometre of the race when two riders came up to them. In the end, Jimenez recovered and went away and got the stage victory, defeating Clavero and Heras. Richard only got 4th spot. The gap is 20 seconds now, and the power's coming down, and they're looking after the man in the red jersey there. Jalabert wants to try and close that gap down. You can imagine the embattlements there with the bows and the arrows and the guns going, but right now the legs are flying round. This is the cobble bit they're going to ride up now, and this is the bit I think which must suit Pascal Richard, past cyclocross champion of the world in the British Royal, but it's uphill and it might suit Jimenez, who wants to get 2 stages on the trot, and the whole this crowd alongside cheering him on, cheering him on. The man who's going to take the king of the man in his jersey into Madrid as the victor this year of that great competition. But suddenly Richard comes alongside him, and Pascal Richard is now trying to look over his shoulder, but we saw yesterday Jimenez was capable of coming back in toward the finish. But has Richard been given the bait? Jimenez is very good, letting the line go out. Look, the cars are in the way now as the lead-out man from Once is trying to take Jalabert up to those two up in front. It's still going to be a race between Jimenez and Richard. The Once team taking up Jalabert, and Jimenez now going on the front yet again. Pascal Richard has to be careful of Jimenez, who can climb the climbs, but Richard is the best on the cobble. He has to be as a world cyclocross champion. But a man there, I'm sure he spat at Richard. That is bad. That is bad sportsmanship. I'm sure when those Spanish people went like that, that is not good. Richard and Jimenez have ridden together today. They must be allowed to race it to the finish. And who is going to win? Saul Jimenez on the front. And Richard. And here comes the group behind, closing down, fighting their way. The cars must get out of the way, the motorcycles must get out of the way. Give the riders a chance. Look, they can see them now. And Jalabert is coming up. Jalabert is coming up very quickly behind the motorcycle. That's Jalabert. 1 kilometre to go. Jimenez still on the front. Richard, as Jalabert closing the gap down, he's coming across behind the motorcycle. Jalabert is coming through now. He's going to close up on the 2 leaders. The motorcycle must move through. Must move through. And they've now got our 2 leaders. What a great shame, what a great pity. They've died 1,000 deaths in the last kilometre. And right now, Jalabert is going for the victory. What a disappointment for Richard and Jimenez. Certainly more Richard than Jimenez. Jimenez got the stage victory yesterday. But for Pascal Richard, what a terrible day to be in sight of a finish, a victory in the Tour of Spain, to be finally caught with 1 kilometre to go. And suddenly now it's eyeballs out for the finish. And who's going to get it? And it's from Festina, launching his way off the front. Looks like the Yeko. Is it Yeko going for it now? Watch it, lads. No, I think it's Brochard. It's Brochard on the front. Brochard, who tried to get up to leaders, and Jalabert's coming up to him now. Brochard and Jalabert locked in mortal combat here, and for Festina still on the front. Then Brochard begins to struggle, and Jalabert takes over. Jalabert takes over, but yet again it could go to... Well, Jalabert throws his arms up, but on the right-hand side there was a TVM rider alongside him. I would not like to call that one until we see it yet again, because somebody came up suddenly as Jalabert threw his arms up in the air. And what a finish we've had today. One of the most exciting finishes we've had so far, despite the speed being only 37.64 kilometers per hour, a bit down on schedule. That was a humdinger of a finish. Those last 3 kilometers were unbelievable. Certainly the press are now massing round Jalabert and saying, how did it go today? But behind him, that TVM rider came up quick. Watch this, watch. Jalabert on the left in the pink. Looks good. Brochard sat up, and then suddenly out the pack, came a close challenge, but Jalabert probably just got it. Just got it. That was close. And there Richard just goes across the line. He must be about 5th or 6th, maybe 7th, and then brush it off. Here we go again. Jalabert's team did a marvellous job, aided and abetted by the Coffey squad. Why, I don't know, because Fondis was nowhere to be seen. They went to line in this wet run-in Tavier, and there on the line, Jalabert was just able to get the victory, but very close indeed. He only got it by Nat's whisker. Jalabert, the victor. Top view of Jalabert going. He looked so confident, but he threw his arms up. Watch this, watch. Bang. Gosh, it was close. Well, he certainly got it from that top shot there, but that just shows you, by the way, you should never, and Jalabert did it, I mean, he's a professional, but he was so confident. But the way the other two came up to him, the Festina Rada and the chap from TVM, who might be Ivanov, I think that was very close for second and third behind him. He's back as such, but no doubt about it that Jalabert got the victory, but only just, he just relaxed and he could have lost it on the line. Alongside here, receiving information that Alex Zülle has been setting the fastest times at each of the time checks so far, and coming in now, Lenoir not going to challenge Sergei Gonchar, who's got the lead at the moment, but that could all fail and fall by the wayside when Zülle comes in. So Lenoir at the moment coming in here, and 55.48 for Lenoir. Well, Jalabert has done an extremely quick ride, and look, he's coming straight through here now. He's nearly caught that minute man, so that's a good ride as far as Jalabert is concerned. 52, look at this one. He's not going to take the lead off Gonchar, but he's gone faster towards the back end. He could well move very simply into second spot, 52, third in fact. He should take 30. He's going to do it at 52. Sounds like an auctioneer, doesn't it? 52.24. And he's going to take it, yes. He's moved into third spot, 52.56 for Laurent Jalabert. Back out with the battle for the victory on the stage today, and the battle to see who can take over second or third spot. There you have it now. That's the time check at the end of it all. Gonchar, despite his monstrous gears and his horrendous style, still in the lead, 52 minutes and 6 seconds for the 44 kilometres on this time trial stage in the Tour of Spain. But the last top three men have yet to finish. Can Zülle take the stage? Back out with Laurent Duffer at the moment, and we've seen Jalabert finish, we've seen Lenoir finish. In fact, Lenoir and Jalabert, that's quite interesting. This morning, I think Lenoir might find himself dropping down. He was started this morning in 10th spot. Jalabert was 8th there, and round about him, he didn't do a very good time trial, I don't think. Did did that a while. He was struggling, I think, to hang on to that 10th spot at the moment, but Jalabert did a superb ride indeed. He started out this morning nearly 2 minutes adrift of Serrano, so he may not have changed positions very much, but I think Jalabert did one of his best rides ever. Here we are, see we're on the motorway, by the way. Would this happen in Great Britain? They've closed down one side of the road on this dual carriageway, not motorway, dual carriageway, and they're allowing the traffic to go on the left-hand side, so that in fact what is normally a dual carriageway with 2 lanes is now a single carriageway on the left-hand side with the lanes of traffic going along as best they can do. Oh, this is amazing, isn't it? But that's the way they organise things in Spain and to an extent in France and Italy and so on. And that, I suppose, is always going to be our big problem back in Great Britain, is having the roads closed to allow bike racing to go on like this. But they decide to do it, they do it, and the public alongside don't get that to upset either. See, though, look on the left-hand side of your screen now on this dual carriageway. There's a car going along that way, and the other traffic's coming the other way. And that's because we've got this side of the dual carriageway and they've got that side now. What a way to run things. Super decisions, good idea, well done. Chapeau to the Spanish for a jolly good way of doing things. So there, Jufo still trying to pinch the second spot off Escartin, and now Zülle has got Escartin in sight. Only, what, some 10 seconds difference. Now, 2 things can happen here. First of all, that it won't change first, second and third that much, but it will enable, I think, Escartin to use Zülle as a benchmark. So he's going to catch him for 2 minutes here in the time trial, which means that by the time we come out today, Escartin will be back well over 4 minutes down Alex Zülle. That is not unexpected, but even so, is Escartin going to hang on to his second spot? And I think somehow with Zülle coming zooming past him, then Escartin can well use, he can't get his slipstream, by the way. You're not allowed to go across and follow him and get his slipstream as such, but nevertheless it will give Escartin in these dying moments of this time trial something to aim for, something to concentrate on. Look, the spectators running across the road now. They've parked their cars. They said, well, go and watch the race. Over we go. They've climbed over the barriers. Look, here they are. They've climbed over the barriers from their cars. There they are. Oh, it's great, isn't it? Now Zülle goes past him, not unexpected, but come on, Escartin, you've got to concentrate. This is on a climb, it should suit you. So now, behind the vast armada, I shouldn't use that word in Spain, should I, but the vast flotilla of vehicles that are following Zülle, they've now collected the vehicles following Escartin, so it's becoming quite a mobile traffic jam behind them. Serrano coming in this morning, 7th overall on GC, 7 minutes and 4 seconds down on Zülle. All those gaps are going to open up. Serrano, 55.11. Well, just having a look there, Serrano 55.11, Jalabert 52. Jalabert might have leapt over him. It might have been a little bit of change there. We might just have seen a change with Jalabert and Serrano. That was a good time trial by Jalabert. He was, as I say, 8th this morning. Actually, Laurent Jalabert must really rue the problems that beset him early on now, as we've got Jufo going to 5 kilometres to go. Comparing, as you watch here, Escartin concentrating on Zülle. Jalabert, you may remember, lost a lot of time on the Sierra Nevada, nearly 8.5 minutes. But if you look at the time, well, I looked at the time between Zülle and Jalabert. Jalabert lost 7 minutes and 39 seconds to Zülle on that day. He was also penalised, Laurent Jalabert. I told you about the flotilla, didn't I? Here it is. Jalabert was also penalised 1 minute for an infraction. They claimed he was, I think it was going to do with either eating or getting a meal or getting a boozette or getting something when he shouldn't have done. They penalised him 1 minute, which everybody thought was terribly wrong. But if you add together the 1 minute penalty and the 7 minutes and 39 seconds he lost to Zülle, going into today's race, if Jalabert should only have been 33 seconds down on Zülle, so that bad day in Sierra Nevada plus the penalty meant that Jalabert was really way off the pace, but he could have only been 33 seconds away from Zülle in second spot. Dufo, I think, you see there, just 0.5 seconds between himself and Dufo. That's all he's got so far. The difficulty is he's down the road before these two riders, but the time checks will also be relayed up to him, and Dufo, I think, will now realise that he is not going to pull over that second spot from Escartin. He needed more than that. He needed 47 seconds of it, and as inside the final 5 kilometres now, it looks like his attempt to take over that second spot is going to fail. But look at Kelme here. We're seeing Serrano coming in, we're seeing Hellas coming in here now. Out on the road is the team leader, Escartin. And no wonder they are the leading team on general classification, the Kelme Costa Blanca Eurosport squad. Young Roberto Hellas here, who has been encouraged in his riding performances by the great Cubino, Lilio Cubino. A tremendous mountain climber. We're pleased with his young protege's performance there. 9th at the moment. That's a good time trial for a man who is best known as a mountain climber. This morning he was lying 5th overall in general classification, 5 minutes 29 seconds down, and he, together with Serrano and Escartin, there were 7 men from the Kelme team in the top, 3 men in the top 7 places, and that's why they've got the team standing. Kelme Costa Blanca Eurosport, they're ahead of Lotus by 14 minutes and 13 seconds, and their time trialling today will certainly, I think, reinforce their position as the best team on the Tour of Spain this year. Zülle in the Amro jersey, riding on here confidently, looks like he could get the stage victory he'd been looking for right the way through since the race started. No doubt he's got number 1 on his back as last year's victor. He moves out from the Once team next year to join the Festina team. Will he go for a triple next year? Will he be challenged by this man? Tremendous race from Escartin in the time trial. Dufo here will, I think, have had enough information to know that he's not going to topple Escartin into second spot, and Escartin then 0.09 is the difference on your screen there at the moment. Zaina coming in here, 53.35. He's not going to topple Gonchar, and he'll be there down in what, maybe 7th or 8th place as such. But Zaina lying overall this morning on general classification in 4th spot. He was only 24 seconds away from Hellas, and I'm just checking to see what Hellas's time is here as Zaina goes across the line. I think he would have preserved it because Hellas was just slightly slower than him, but Hellas must have frightened him just a bit then with a superb time trial too, but Hellas could stay back in 5th spot. Zaina and he separated by 24 seconds this morning, but Zaina just that bit faster in the time trial. Next to finish should be Dufo, and then we shall see Zülle come in, and the last man on the road will be Escartin. Well, last year it was an all-Swiss clean sweep, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Zülle was 1st overall in the general classification at the end of the race with 1 kilometre to go for Dufo. Dufo finished 2nd in the Tour of Spain last year. He's now, looks like he's going to finish in 3rd spot this year. The 3rd place man last year was Tony Romigo. So the Swiss 1, 2 and 3 last year. The year before, it was a French victory for Laurent Jalabert. Abra Milano was in 2nd spot. Johan Badil of Belgium was 3rd. So the Spanish were very pleased, I think, with their performance of their riders this year, because 2nd spot overall. They have already Jimenez, who's come across the line at the end of the time trial in the white jersey as King of the Mountains, so they get that one as well. Kelme going to take the team victory likewise too, and Jalabert, sponsored by the Once team, although he's a Frenchman and victor in 1995, will take the points jersey. So although it's not all over yet, we've still got tomorrow to go. I'm just giving you a rundown on the Spanish in their great race. They've not been happy that it's been moved from April, May through to this late September December slot. But nevertheless, we've had some superb weather, some superb racing, and a record average speed so far too, because we're going to go into the final day with an average speed of just around about 26 miles an hour. Imagine that then for something like around about 2,350 miles of racing to average some 26 miles an hour. And we've had some tremendous mountains too. So all these riders you're watching on your screen now, whilst you'll be maybe going to work 5 days a week, or maybe had one day off where you've got a cold, not feeling too good, the lads you're watching now have been racing day in, day out. We've had one rest day when, in fact, there wasn't much a rest day. They had to drive through to the rest day in their car the night before. Jufo now in 11th spot, 54.13. We'll have now to wait for the couple of minutes to see what Escartin has done behind him. I think he knows that he hasn't snaffled that third spot. But I say these riders, just one day so-called rest. They had to travel late through the night in the cars up to the next day of rest, and there they had one day off. But really, they were in all sorts of trouble on that one day because their legs were stiff. They had to go out on their bikes and do a bit of riding, and so they haven't had much rest, these riders. You can see the state of Escartin's face, all that slobbering coming down here, because this man is riding probably the best time trial he's ever done. He had to ride like this. He was 47 seconds ahead of Jufo, who on that first time trial we had in Cordoba was in fact 1 minute 29 seconds better than him. Escartin knew that when he got caught by Zülle, he had to keep him inside. Zülle riding into potentially a victory today. The time of Gonchar, 52.06 to beat. He's going to do just that. Is he going to do it? Yes, he is. He's going to take the victory he's been looking for right the way through. So Zülle coming through now will be able to ride into Madrid tomorrow, not only with the amateur jersey, but also the confidence that he's won a stage in the 1997 Tour of Spain. And it's going to be the time trial. The big one then, this is his supreme ability. It's to ride against the watch, also ride the mountains with the best of them. And he's won the time trial. That's it, 51.35 for Alex Zülle. Now then, Dufo's time, 44.13. This man 47 seconds away. He has to finish inside 54.60. 55, in fact, he has to get inside 55, and he's done it, he's done it, he's done it. So in fact there, Escartin, although he finished 9th overall, has preserved his second spot away from Jufo. So 1, 2 and 3 will ride into Madrid tomorrow. I don't know, says he, because I say it could be just a trundle, but you know, only maybe 40-odd seconds between those two. Perhaps tomorrow we might see the Lotus team attack the Calmey squad. You never know. Going in our ears now then, and we're ready for the finish of this great race. And I have a letter, by the way, from the Gregarios Super Club Ciclista, a fax which came after the Tour de France, who are a leisure riding club. I wonder if you've got back now from your Sunday bash. They say we're not a racing club, we have some assisted rides. We ride somewhere out of London at the moment. We're named after the Italian team domestics. The Gregarios meet every Sunday at 9 AM in the Alpine Bushy in Hertfordshire, and we don't take it seriously. So for the Gregarios Super Club Ciclista, thanks for your letter, thanks Danny Pollock for what you said so far. Will you now pick a victor? Come on, put your hands up. If you're sitting watching it now, look at each other and say, right, XYZ, I'm going to put you in the pound seats and you have to make the decision. Also, you see there 41 kilometers per hour. This just shows you 3,600 kilometers they've covered so far, and 41 kilometers, 40 k's is 25 miles an hour, so we're a fraction over 25 miles an hour. This is a record Tour of Spain as they go through now. I haven't had time during the last 3 weeks to reply to the on air that I've received. All of them, by the way. We'll try and pick them up during the World Championship, but I have one here which says, my daughter Rebecca. No, it's not on this, my daughter tells me. It is in fact a letter I've had from John Bishop about his wife, his daughter has been sending me faxes about the way in which the BCF treat the lady riders, and I just thought, my daughter tells me, this is it, I'm going to be hung, drawn and quartered. I'm sorry about this sort of jumping in onto what is a very professional race, this race which dates back to 1935. We can't all joke about it because we've still got the sprint coming up, but the overall situations are fixed right now. And thanks then, John, for sending me your fax, and also the fax I've had from your daughter as well, and for those from John Miles of the Women's Cycle Racing Association. Yes, I'll do what I can. I'll come back to it during the next few weeks as such and try and sort things out for as best I can do. But we're now eyes down, look in, as they say in the bingo halls. We're going to see who's going to win today. Favor jour. Change at the front now. We've got the reffing lot putting the coals on, and Cofidis too likewise. Well, Cofidis don't have a really good sprint. They had to go, I think, a bit off the front of things. Cofidis and Reffin now beginning to try and perhaps say, look, let's sort this lot out, because it really is going to be a Mapei Lotus Festina benefit. But they're coming up now, they're all over the place. Psycho 2 trying to go away. They've lost their maid sprinter, Mr. Cipollini, who won stage 1. Oh, sorry, rode stage 1, and then knocked on the head and went home, and that was it. So Psycho trying to go now. Psycho on the front. Psycho still going hard at the front. Okay, put you on the front for the ASICS team. But look at the blue-white jerseys for the Festina squad, trying to set it up there for Wust. Oh, the Psycho and Reffin riders dropped off the front. They couldn't hold the pace. They've gone now. It's left down to the big guns to fire for Mapei and for the Lotus Festina team. It's between these two big teams now. You can see them on the front now, really accelerate. They're travelling down here at something like about 35 miles an hour, making it very difficult for somebody to come off the wheels and go through. They're setting up now for the sprinters. The final day in this, the 1997 Tour of Spain, is going to be down to a sprint perhaps between Serrada and Wust, who both won 3 stages so far. Swinging around and coming back up that straight. They made it. Thank goodness it's not wet, because a very nasty turn they've got there. Oh, and suddenly interfering with it is the Rabobank rider inside the final kilometre. One of the Rabobank riders has gone off the front at the moment. Looking back over his shoulder, is this Van Bon at the moment, who's already got 1 stage victory? Can they close him down? I thought Van Bon might have stayed in that main pack a bit longer, but he's still staying out the front, but looks too big for Van Bon to me. Can he stay out there? Coming up here, I can see back in that main pack, Mickelson trying to come through for TVM. Also there, Wust and Serrada's coming through now. Can they catch him on the front? But no, the Rabobank rider's going to get this one. He's away. He caught them napping on the line. That's Van Heijswijk just away from Serrada, and in 3rd spot, Marcel Wust. What a finish. And the average speed, 42.333 kilometers per hour for today's stage in Madrid, and that will seal what has been a record average speed for the Tour of Spain. And the final day, tremendous speed, 43 kilometers per hour, and Van Heijswijk has got the stage victory. Let's look again. He looks back over his shoulder. That really taught them a thing or two, because you see there in the white crash helmet coming through now, surging across the line, was Serrada, and just alongside him in the darker blue and the white shirt was Marcel Wust, but they couldn't catch Van Heijswijk, who got the stage victory. So Van Heijswijk, Serrada and Wust, 1, 2 and 3. He went way off down the road. That surprised a lot of people. Well, if it was into a fight on the finishing line, then perhaps he might have won it too, because he is actually a black belt in judo. He rode for the Motorola team, and now he's transferred across to the Rabobank team. So Max van Heijswijk has got the second stage victory for the Dutch Rabobank team, and they must be very pleased indeed with that one as he thunders across the line here. He's not one of the chaps who's in there like Van Baarle for the final sprint. He's a chap who can go maybe 2 or 3 kilometres an hour, and suddenly he comes through at the end and takes the final stage victory. What an international race we've had this year on Eurosport covering the Tour of Spain. A Dutch rider winning for a Dutch-sponsored company in front of a chap from the Republic of Czech, sponsored by an Italian, and then a German sponsored by Festina, a Spanish company. Great.